Good. So next week I'm going to start Gotha, which is so it's the Litríocht Breise question. So basically so in paper two, you have your two reading comprehensions, your poetry, your prose, and then your Litríocht Breise. Okay, so the Litríocht Breise is the only thing that you do that ordinary level don't do. And that is basically you can do loads of different, so basically every school can pick their own type of text. So you can do An Triail, which a lot of you might have done in school. Another popular one is Mike Danny no sé, a higno teacherum, but I do Gotha. Okay, so it's 4D. So when you go onto the sheet, it will always be 4D Gotha, and you will get an exam question specifically about Gotha, and you just answer the question. I have a sample answer. I will go through the sample answer with you next week, and through the summary and all of that. But basically, like the people who've used my sample answer in the past, when we looked at their papers, they were getting like 38 out of 40 because the beauty of Gotha is it's not a popular text, so not a lot of teachers know it. So when they're correcting it as an examiner, they're following the marking scheme like very by the book, and like all the kind of main points are all in my sample answer. So like it ends up getting higher points than the likes of An Triail. Like 80% of the country does An Triail, and that's why the questions are so much more complex, because it's the most answered question on the paper, where Gotha isn't. So that's my reasoning for doing Gotha. It's a little bit easier to remember as well. So I will do that next week. That's going to take up a bit of time. Next week and the week after, because obviously it's a full-on question. But then we're really going to be getting into like the final parts of like, you have at this moment in time about 80% of the course done, as in like the studied literature. So like you're well on the way, okay, which is great because we have 10 weeks till Easter, and then we have 9 weeks till summer. Okay, so you have still loads of time. Okay, so if you feel like, oh God, I didn't get what I wanted to get done in the end of last year, please do not worry, because I have worked with people who only started studying in January to sit the exam in June. So you've loads of time, but again, it also comes down to how much time you can dedicate to it. So enough of my talking, and we will get straight into it. So I don't know how much of the Christmas study plan people got. I didn't hear from anyone sending me voice notes of their Gaeilge, but not to worry. To be honest, I wasn't really in the office much myself. I think everyone has great plans at Christmas, and then sickness and just out of routine can send a lot of people the other way. So where are we here? Oh, also, I'm just going to talk quickly about this. I started this today. So I am starting an oral study plan. I'll add a bit more to it tomorrow. But basically, like, this is just kind of like to give you tunnel vision when it comes to the oral, okay? Like with regards to your notes, and then like kind of the type of questions you need to be answering under these topics. So I kind of just, now again, I only started it today. But like what you need to kind of have under each heading, just to give yourself, that you're very sure you kind of know the type of questions that could be asked, okay? And again, if you've any struggles with that, just let me know. But like for the next 10 weeks, like a lot of your homework is going to be involving sending me voice notes, checking your oral work. There will be heavy emphasis on that for the next couple of weeks until we get this oral done and dusted. Okay, so we'll go in here. Right, so back to our old routine. So first of all, we'll be soon running out of Brí Renua, because I'm starting to struggle to think of loads of different ones. So Bartig, we had this last term, but I said obviously you can use two different verbs. So it can be Bartig or suckrig or huckrig in the Amshachatza, and that is to decide. Okay, so I think the reason I'm bringing it up again, I just think it's a great verb. It can be used in so many different contexts. And yeah, it's definitely a good one to know. Doi is to burn. Okay, so you can use it like goi me. Okay, which looks weird but is actually correct. I'm just gonna write it in Zoom chat. So goi me is I burnt, or vi me, now again in a different context in the Anam Brihra, it would be vi me dotse. So I was burnt. Okay, so again, just different contexts to use it in. And then the last one there, yeah, so gui. So I think I have this on the verb sheet, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it by itself. So gui can mean to pray, but it can also mean to wish. So like guin she ra more air. Okay, so or he will just change it to. So he wishes huge success on her. So basically, like he wishes her great success, or he wishes her well. All right. So again, just another, I suppose, like verb, but obviously, like, you know, you sometimes I think you never know when these verbs are going to come to you, especially, I suppose I'm in Shra Pictor mode now and I'm thinking of the Shra Pictor. So the Shanukal then this week, so Norvian on cat and whip, we in luck a grinka. So when the cat is away, the mice will dance, or you know, when the cat's away, the mice will play, that kind of thing. So again, I was thinking of Brocha Air Skull. You know, you could bring it in there about her, you know, being hungover when she wakes up the next morning, or anything to do with teenagers. And obviously the Shrap Doors, you know, it's all teenager based. So you can bring, it's probably a Shanukal you could bring in quite easily into many of the Shrap Doors that we've looked at. And then the Nahana Kansha is Ibraba Nasul. So in the blink of an eye. Now, there is another way of saying that. It's Ivatsach Nasul. Ivatsach Nasul. In the blink of an eye. Okay. So in the blink of an eye, Ivatsach Nasul. Okay. So they mean the exact same thing. It's just different ways of saying them. Okay. So first of all, I have to apologize. I have like a real tickly throat and I could start into a cough and fit at any stage. So you will just have to forgive me. I'll mute myself if that happens. But so tell me, what did you do over the Christmas break? How did you get on? I just want to check in with you all right now. How is everything going? Okay. Yeah. Like, look, please don't worry. Like, I haven't obviously been back to school yet, but I can imagine. I put money on it that my leaving certs didn't do too much either. Bar partying, I'd say, and going out. But you aren't the dead right. You will get in back into the swing of things. And to be honest, I was so happy with the Christmas test. Like, I really genuinely was, that I'm not worried, you know, like, and again, I'd be so honest with you that if I was worried, I would be contacting you and be like, I'm just letting you know that I'm worried, you know, or, you know, well, I mightn't be as blunt as that, but I'd be like, you know, like, if we want to get where we need to go, you know, we really need to try and knuckle down. And I know it's hard, but yous are putting in huge effort. So, you know, it'll all come together in the end. So sometimes as well, a bit of stress can be good at times. You know, stress makes us do things. So no, I'm not worried at all. So well done. You've done as much as you could, and that's okay. I suppose. Look, if anyone is like after this week, like, you can touch base with me like privately, and if you need to like contact me about anything, or just you're unsure, you know, you can contact me at any stage. Like, please do. If I don't hear from you, I obviously presume you're all okay, but if you're not okay, you need to come talk to me. Okay. Right, we're going to get straight into it, guys, okay? So today I wanted to focus on the oral, just to kind of, I suppose, give us context into what we're going into in 10 weeks time. So when we go into the oral, the first thing we're going to do is, well, obviously you'll go in and you'll sign the register, okay? Now you are all going to be external candidates, so you're are probably going to be, so they bring in this like massive sheet like you see coming out of like a heart machine or whatever, right? Massive sheet with all the students' like names, student numbers. I'm pretty sure from what I remember, external candidates are on a different sheet. So they could say to you in English. Now some of them won't, but some of them will be like, you know, an bhfuil sé the anam, the dot breha, agus an screw diver, right? So is this your name, your date of birth, and your exam number? They are the three pieces of information they will already have about you. And if everything is correct, I don't know, do they ask you to see ID? I've never heard of it, but maybe just have some with you. Certain schools could have different policies. And then you just sign it to say that you are that person on the sheet. And that you're happy to sit the exam. Then they will start the tape, right? So the tape that's when the exam starts, right? So it doesn't actually start from the minute you walk into the room. It starts when they start the tape. But I mean, like, first impressions are very important as well, right? And they're all lovely, so please don't panic. Like, all the examiners are so nice. I hope you all get really sound ones. There's some very sound people out there who do the orals. So the first thing then, once they start, they will ask you these 5 questions. They have to ask you. So I want you to make note of the following now, right? So it is only 5 marks, but they don't have to give you it if you don't meet certain criteria. So when they ask you your name, you have to give them your full name, okay? Doesn't matter if you don't know your name in Irish, it actually doesn't matter, but you just need to give them your full name, first and second name, to get the mark, okay? So your age, that's kind of self-explanatory. Your date of birth, we're actually gonna try do this now, okay? Because I want to make sure that they're correct. Where you live, you can't just say, like, so for myself, like, oh, Toma Mahoney Kunde Schliggy, I live in Sligo. I won't get the mark for that. I have to say Toma in Mahoney Mali Udoli Kunde Schliggy. So I have to say like the town name and the county. Okay, so you got to be very careful of that as well, right? And then your exam number. So when you're doing your exam number, it's just, so the easiest way of doing it is probably Thomas Screwdiver, a Hena Do 3, a Kahar Kugashe. Okay, so you just name, like you just read out the numbers like 154 322 or whatever. So a hen, a cuig, a tree, a cahar, a do, or whatever it is. What I want you to do now is I want you to write the answers to these 5 questions, okay? If you are not sure what your date of birth is, just in your box or in Zoom chat, will you just tell me what your date of birth is and I will read it out and you can just write it. Because remember, spelling doesn't matter here. This is all phonetics. Okay, if you're not sure of your date of birth, just write it and I'll say it. Okay. I just want to check these. And obviously for anyone who can't get on the chat, you can just write to me in Zoom chat. So when we're writing our date of birth, we all need to start it off with Rogume Air on. I was born on that. And remember what we've learned. So air on plus an eru. Now, the only exception to that is if it's the 8th, it's air on tuchtu law. And always make sure to write the year as well. So say like I'm 93, right? So a 1993, but that's how you split it up. Don't say like 1993. So like I would be Nidig Noka, sorry. Nidig Noka. Oh, Nidig. I could spell. Noka is a 3. Or you can literally say Nidig Noka 3. Nidig Noka 3. Yeah, okay. So if you have a 0 in your exam number, it is pronounced Noj, just in case we forget that. So we know what 1 is, but sometimes we forget what 0 is. Okay, so I'm just going to check some of these here to make sure. So when okay, so Megan, I'm going to start with you. So your date of birth, you're 22, so you're Govli in Isfiha. Govli in Isfiha. That is such a common mistake because you're 2 years and 20. Now, I think there has been recent writings to say that they're allowing that now, like fihe is a do. But I don't know. I just would rather you do it the old way if that's okay. Sorry, that's me being so particular now. But just in case your examiner didn't know that that's been changed and they would mark it wrong. So again, I would just rather you do it the old way. So Tome Govlin is Feha. Right. So you were born the 28th of February 01. So rugme ar an tuchtú lás fethe de fiabhra sa bhliain gábhaí le sa hain, that's perfect, and the rest of that is all fine. Okay, so you're good to go. So right, Katie, gábhlín is fethe rugme ar an cúgu lá. So the 5th of June, you need to make sure you add your year there. So gábhíla, or maybe your nídig, whatever you are. Same with you, Nigel. So Tome 8 million, and because you're past 6, 8 million is fiha. Okay. Rugame and Kugu. So Rogume on Guagu, because it's on plus an Eru, right? So on Guagu law dag. So just change those words around. Again, don't worry about typing it in. If you're writing it yourselves, that's what matters for you. Kugulo dig devi lunasa savlian nidig noka kuig. Yeah, that's you fine then. Oh well, just finish off the rest of it so I can just double check it. So Megan Vernus andum Tome. So Megan, so 26, so Tome she vlian is feha dish. Rugame an cahrú lá de bhí saoin ní ag nócha shocked. Perfect, Tom Honey sa Glenty Kunde. Yeah. So because you are saying I live in the Glenties, so just Sna Glenty Kunde, take out the G. The G's only there if you have E Gunde do all. But actually Kunde do all is actually fine how you have it. So Michelle, Tá me again, so we're just going to change this around. So Tá me cuig bblion is trocha. Okay, so cuig, where am I writing that there now? Sorry. Cuig bblion is trocha. Okay, again, you don't need to edit it on this, just if you have your own notes, do it there. Tá me cuig bblion is trocha dish. Rug me an cahrú lá de bhí anar ní dig octo and ní. Belated happy birthday, the 4th of January. Yeah, and sorry, Megan, you were the 4th of November, 97. Yeah, so again, if I'm wrong, that's what I'm reading here. It's just double check where you're living. Tumim Honi e Slatic more Ruski Hunderas. Come on, that's all fine. Tommy Mahoney, so Katie, Tommy Mahoney now, Katie, just be on a hormach ar fad. Tommy Mahoney I Cashlan on Comer a Hunde Kilcannig. Yeah. Tommy Mahoney now, and because you're Ardrahan, Nigel, that I needs to change to in because it's 2 vowels. So Tommy Mahoney in Ardrahan. Kunde na Galyava. Yeah. If that makes sense. So like if it's called your townland begins with an A, so you have to put an N in front of it. Okay, and I'm just going to type Zoom chat. So circa Rugame, so circa you're born now. Sheila, are you trying to say the 26th of April? So no, so if that's the case, Rugame air on the 26th. So on Sheo Law, or are you trying to say the 16th maybe? The 16th? So the 16th of April would be Rugame air on Sheo Law Dag. The 26th, Rugame air on Sheo Law is Feha. But I think you're trying to say the 16th. Okay, yeah. So Rugame air on Sheo Law Dag. Devi Abron ní dag nóca sa hain. So Tome Govlian is trocha. Govlian is trocha. Tome Mahoney I Barchware Drahan Nua I Gildara. Farfa. Tome Screw the hat. Yeah, that's all fine. And sorry, Megan, I'll just move up here in the chat. So Tome Bliana one is feha. Okay, for 21. Bliana one is feha. If you want to just make note of that, Megan. Rugame Aaron Kugulo de mi Martha. So the 5th of March, Gavila is a do. So Gavila is a do 2002. Tomo Honey Limnoch. Limnoch, yeah, Balian Anti is on the Mecanter, yeah. So if you want to make that even easier, Tome Mahoney Malya Nyanti Gunde Limni. So apologies, when you put Kunde in front of some of the counties, it changes it. So Gunde Limnig. Okay, right. all fine there, okay? So again, but if anyone is confused after this or just wants me to double check it, but I am getting you to send it as part of your homework, so I'll get to double check it then, your pronunciation of everything. So guys, after those 5 questions are done, it goes straight into Leibh na Filiochta. Okay, so you will get asked to read one of the poems. Now I know I put this as some of you as your Christmas work, but I want to do it again anyway. You need to print off that booklet, okay? All that booklet is the 5 poems. There's no magical like anecdote in the back of it or anything. It's just the 5 poems printed, but you need to write the phonetics of the poem on it. Please do not forget to do this, because if you don't bring it in, all the examiner is going to do is they're just going to hand you their own copy. But their own copy is going to have no pronunciations on it. So you can bring it in with the pronunciations on it, and a lot of people don't realize that. And it's like even with your exam number, you can write your exam number in numerical, so in numbers, on the top of the page, okay? So it saves you having to try remember it. Some people write it on their hand either. I am going to read this poem now. So if you have this printed off, you can write the phonetics beside it. And again, as part of your homework, I'm going to get you to say the poem for me, and I'm going to tell you what you get out of 35 marks. First thing you need to remember, because everyone forgets to do it because they're nervous, is you need to say the title of the poem and who wrote the poem, okay? Very important that we don't forget this, because you can lose marks for it, okay? So, Gavin le Kathleen Maud. Anvi me, Anvi alta. As na cho crasa. A will clue August call mo scéif. Okay, so the next line now is a little bit harder. So, it's crihin, crihin. It's not crithin, okay? Crihin, crihin, croncha, na quilla. Crihin, croncha, na quilla. So the na quilla, that's like a Q, okay? Q sound. Crihin, croncha, na quilla. So all the C's. The next word is thraw. Níl TH ag an zera, okay? So you don't pronounce the TH. So thraw. Thraw, lemagar. Gar, like car, but with a G sound, lemagar. Ach, okay. So this is where you can become very like, you can get really into it, okay? So you can use your guttural sounds. They're not essential because obviously like the guttural sounds take years to perfect, etc., etc. But some of you may be just naturals. So ach, CH creates a guttural sound. So ach, achanish. So achanish, Liam Shias. Agus brathnium, agus brathnium 3 lahul. Lahul, not lasul, lahul, okay, H, lahul. On gran, so try and pronounce the G as best you can. On gran, Einrich, Shin Hall. Tagan, Nakieta. Now, a big mistake that happens here is some people say Kieta, right? Because they've said the fada on the E, but then they forget there's no fada on the A. So, Nakieta. Tagan Nakieta Dini. Quilla Law. Now, the last bit, there's two ways you can say this. So you can say it a dhéanach, that D word. A dhéanach rud be. B-I-H, Neil, A-N-T-H on, okay? So rud be. So you can say a dhéanach rud be, or you can say a dhéana. My Irish accent now really comes out there. A dhéana, okay? A dhéana or a dhéanach, okay? A dhéana rud be, dom ach mé a ligan amach, okay? So again, I'm going to get you to say that back to me as part of your homework. As I said in your Christmas plan, and I didn't delete the Christmas plan, it's just in the folder called study plans. Marcus Lamb, he says them online. There's YouTube videos of him, so you can listen to him as well. I'm sure he's much nicer to listen to than my fluey, cold voice. Okay, so I'm not going to spend any longer on that. I am now going to go on to Cora. Okay, so each week I'm going to try pick a topic that I want us to cover. Okay, with regards Cora. So this week we're just going to have a look at Mahiluk. Okay, now for you being a mature student, there's a slight difference here. So Mahiluk is my family, and it means like my brothers and my sisters, okay, or like my parents, whoever's in my family. If you have children, that's when you use the word Maclan, okay? So you can talk about your sons and your daughters or whoever, okay? So there is a difference between those words. Now, normally the examiner is going to ask you about your Hilok, okay? It is simply the Hilok, because they can't assume that you're married or you're not married or you have kids or you don't have kids. Do you know what I'm saying? So they will ask you the same way they're going to ask all the teenagers. Inish simply the Hilok. Okay. Now, I've split it up. So that's like the generic question. When they ask you that question, it's like, tell me everything. Tell me everything you can think of about your family. Okay. And they will let you talk. Unlike the Hibernia interview, in the Leaving Cert oral, for the most part, they will let you speak, okay? Especially you, because they know you're an external candidate. They know you're going to have stuff learned off, and they're going to let you talk. But you got to get the balance right. So, give them like a paragraph, but don't go OTT about it either, because then they're just going to get bored. So how many brothers and sisters do you have? If you want to change that to how many, if you have children, who's, if you don't want to answer who's the oldest, you can go into like maybe who's your oldest child, whatever. You literally have autonomy here, what way you want to play it, okay? They're not going to come out and say exactly like, they're not going to come out and go, oh, how old is whoever, okay? Straight away. They will ask something far more generic about your family before they get into like all the different, like, intricate stuff. So what I want you to do now, the last one there, so then it's like, do you get on with your family? So just be careful, because this is a big one with students. Is Shinna is oldest and is Oiga is youngest. Okay. And then do you get on with your family? And then the last one is, what type of person are you? So what I want us to do now is, and I'm not going to dedicate too much time to this, because again, I have a similar thing done for your homework, that I want you to do is, I want you to just write what you can there to answer that first question. Tell me about your family, okay? Just write it, and I want to look at it again. I'm not looking at spelling. I'm just looking at what you can tell me, okay? Okay, good. This is good. Come on. Ítach. So like if it is the case that you do have children, right? Maybe you don't have the verbs or stuff for that. So like, tá plán agam, I have a family, Inyin daughter, Mach is son, and then whatever age they are. Far Kayla, husband, Ban Kayla, wife, Nora the Martian. Ítach. Anoa. So yeah, Megan, perfect. Just throw my drift for ina Coney. And I'd get rid of that H. Ina. Yeah. San Austral o fehe fehe do. So Megan, okay, so now I'm reading all of this, right? And I'm trying to think. So this is this is definitely what your Hibernia interview person is going to do. So straight away, Megan, I want to ask you, but what lat dul gadi Austral? So what would you say to that? Now, let me see. Is it in a perfect? So then Megan M, like I'm reading yours, and what I want to ask you is, so kin ish iad the siblini? And will she it fós savanskol no savonskol? Ma. So Nigel, that is all yeah, Anoa. Like that's all perfect. I can understand everything you're saying there. Intach. Come on, Megan. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, ecol, yeah. Iontok Megan M. Yeah. Iontok, okay. I'm just gonna go up here now. Moo winter. Lily. Good. Is é tá sé telín agus is tógáí tá sin na chunig chun déir nach chlár tá ariocht do blin is fééis is cúnsáir is in bhfuil cafa mérá is duine is na sin is óige is chlán tá ina gcóí lenne seoir sin ganáí Perfect, Megan W. Yeah, that's all perfect. I can understand 100% everything you're saying there. So well done. We're ready to talk about our tie look, which is brilliant. Okay, Anawa. Okay, guys, I'm really happy with this. Really happy. Obviously, I need to check the pronunciations, but I will do that in your homework. But this is like your high level stuff. So well done. Okay, very, very good. I'm very happy. Now, going on to the Shropshire tour now, I'm just looking at time here, and I'm definitely not going to like make you stay all night because it is the first evening back. And again, I put way too much on the agenda, but again, we'll sort it. So I'm going to add some of it as homework. So apologies. I want us to look at the Shropshire tour here now. Right? I want us to get into the mindset of when we're doing the Shropshire tour, I want us to think of verbs. I want us to think of keywords, right? But most importantly, verbs. Then think of like, is there a nat and a cancha I could maybe throw into 2 of the pictures? And then if I'm lucky, is there a shanuckle I can throw into one of the pictures? Do you know what I mean? So just little things like that I want you to think about, okay? So you can see that I have your name under all of like all your names, and we're going to do 2 pictures at a time. So what I want you to do is we're just going to do the first 2 pictures here, okay? And then I'm going to do the end of the lesson, and I'm going to bring half this lesson into homework and then half of the lesson into next week. What I think I will do is I will record myself going through the essay because I want you to have a look at the essay this week if you can. I have it as part of your homework. Just to have a look at it and get to grips with it. I will record myself tomorrow of me talking through it, and I will then post it on here on the drive, and you can look at it in your own time. Okay, so for now we're just going to focus on the first 2 pictures of the Shra. Okay, these first 2 pictures, I want you to give me 5 to 6 sentences of these first. So 5 to 6 sentences for Pictor Hain, 5 to 6 sentences for Pictor Do. And again, I'm going to look at it. Okay, have a look at it. Okay. Oh, sorry, Michelle. So we're just doing the first 2 pictures. So I want you to just write what basically is happening in the first 2 pictures. Okay. So like we're aiming for 5 to 6 sentences in picture for Pictor Hain, 5 to 6 sentences for Pictor Do. Okay, guys. Yeah, this all looks good. So when I'm reading these, like I'm doing the same thing, but obviously as I would be like when I'm sitting in listening to them. But what I'm looking for is I'm looking at all the different verbs. Like that's what I'm looking for, or that's what I'm listening for. Okay. So when you're doing this as like part of your homework, that's what I'm gonna listen for. Come on. Very good, Megan W. That's excellent. Well done. Íntoch. Well done, Megan B. And good use of Nahna Canches there as well. Come on. Tikity love Mahu. Very good, Michelle. Well done, Megan M. Very good. And good use of Nahna Cancha as well. So this is like the strategy I want you to take when you go into that, into the mock interviews, into, you know, the real thing. I want you to take this strategy of like verbs, verbs, verbs. That's what I do when I'm creating the notes, right? I'm like, okay, what verb could I use here now? And I don't try and make the sentence difficult. I try and keep the sentence really simple, and just build up the sentences. So very, very good. Like I'm really happy with this work, guys. You've obviously forgotten nothing over the Christmas period. So well done. Íntoch. I'm really happy with this. So what I'm going to add as part of your homework, right? You don't have to add these two because you've already done them as such, but if you want to just get the flow of it, absolutely no problem. But I'm going to get you to give me the script for you to voice note me the script for the next 4 pictures of this shra, and I'll put them into your homework folder. Okay. If you want to do the whole shot though, just for purpose, that's absolutely fine as well. But what I want you to do before I kind of show you the other bits, okay, before we finish up, I want you to give me 3 questions, and you can base them on any of the pictures you see here, any of the 6 pictures. 3 questions you would ask the examiner. Because remember, that's part of it too, right? So 70 marks is going for you actually explaining the shra. And then there's 10 marks going for 3 questions that you ask the examiner, and then 3 questions that you answer from the examiner. Now, the answering of the questions is easy, but it's the asking of the questions that you can lose a bit of marks on. Yeah, perfect. Come on. Well done, Sarah. That's excellent. Yeah. And all I'd say is, guys, even though they'll be able to see, but just to make it really clear for the examiner, say what picture you're talking about. Come on. Well done, Megan W. Well done, Michelle. Íntoch. Yeah. Well done, yeah. Megan B, very good. Konyaki, where did they go on holidays? Yeah, excellent. Very, very good. Very happy with this. I actually must write that in. Um, I'm going to make a note here, guys, of the essay recording because my head is like a sieve. Very good. And the beauty of this, it's only 10 marks. It's not the be all and end all with the Keshna. The beauty of the Keshna, when you get asked, now obviously I teach all my students to give full sentences, which you are well used to doing. But even if you just say like, if you just say like, oh, if they said like, call will Nachalini Victor Hain, and you just said show mercy, you still get full marks for that. But if you want to say, oh, Toshi, it's a show mercy, you also get full marks for that. So it's the oral is beautiful because they are giving marks for literally you just communicating with them because you've said, oh, they're in the sitting room, you've shown the examiner that you actually know what picture they're talking about, what they're actually asking, what they've said. So it's like the comprehension side of things as well you're getting marks for. So I'm going to just skip the essay part for the minute. I'm going to do all that tomorrow. But I suppose just to talk quickly about the essay, this essay is called Fibana Idirno Siúnta. I've already put it up on the drive if you want to have a look at it. Obviously, it covers all the horrific thing that's happening at the minute. It's everywhere on social media. I really, really think it's going to come up. Now, you could say, oh, well, Danielle, like, the paper is written in October, but it was happening unfortunately before this would have been written. Obviously Ukraine was a big issue. It never really came up on the paper in so many words. I really think it's going to be there this year, this kind of vibe and that it has come up in the past. And if it doesn't come up as vibe and it's going to come up as like vibe and Amora Sadawan, like big problems in the world, or just like the world today or something. So this that what I've written can be tweaked for all those different ones, okay? So like I've said down there, like Kuga, war, politics, scaled more big stories today. So I will go through that in the recording. You will have that by tomorrow evening. So the last thing I'm going to get you to do, I'm just a little bit over time, but we'll do this. But you can do it in Zoom chat. So you can all fill it out. If I was to ask you these 5 questions, you can number them 1 to 5. What would your response be? Or what should your response be? So remember in Irish, a response, whatever the question is, whatever verb the question is asked in, 9 times out of 10, you should respond in that verb, in that tense. So what would you respond with these? So you can just do the positive for now. So just 1 to 5, what would be the positive response to these 5 questions? So we have an Yarna, an Yaki, an Vor, an Vacha, agus an Rau. Anawa. Making things too easy. Íntoch. And guys, I think what you need to remember is, because sometimes I think you can all be very, very hard on yourself. Some of my students wouldn't be able to answer that. my higher level class. I mean, it probably makes me sound like an awful teacher, but they're just a lazy bunch, but they wouldn't know that. Like, and they will probably still come out with H5s, but you are, like, I just want you to remember that. There are a lot of Leaving Cert students out there. If I ask them that question, must actually do a poll. I'm going to do that. I'll do that tomorrow. A poll, and you'll be able to see for yourself how many people. Now I know it's not all Leaving Cert students on my Instagram, but you just see, you're absolutely flying it. I'm so happy with the work you've done today. Excellent. Just keep doing what you're doing, all of you. You are absolutely smashing it. I'm so happy. Okay, so just real quick one with your homework. Obviously, I'm going to add in the Shrap Picture. Now, I have gone easy on the homework this week. All right, I have, because I'm conscious that you are finding your feet again. Where is the homework? Right. So I want you to send me a voice note of the 5 questions. Okay. First of all, if you say in the poem Gavin, and I'll give you a mark on it. Then the 5 questions. So Cad Sanandit Kinney Shu Cowell to the Coney, Cad Dot Breha, and Cad Screwdiver, and then just answer the questions on your family. Just send me a big spiel about your child, or if you want to split it into smaller questions, you can. And then obviously, I'm going to add in the Shrap Picture as well. You can send me. So it's very much Shrap Picture or oral based work this week, but we will be going back now and we'll be doing Gotha next week. So it'll become a little bit more paper based. All right. As always, maybe touch base with me. I'll send in a message this week about just obviously the dates, getting dates together for your mock orals for February midterm, etc. And as always, if you have any questions, you can just get in contact with me. All right. And I'll also send a text into the group when I have the recording up for the essay. Okay, which it'll be tomorrow before the end of the day.